Sketchbook Challenge 38. Can you believe it? After today, Cam, we have 12 more sketchbook challenges. Just a dozen more left to go. That is crazy.
It's been a lot.
So today's real exciting. This is probably one of the sketchbook challenges that I would like in my sketchbook, that I think if people were flipping through, this would be really cool to do. And that is, it's SBC Comic. I want you to fill a page with comic panels. So I want you to tell some kind of story, and it can be a one-page self-contained, like from beginning to end it tells a complete story, or maybe you start telling a story and it doesn't have to finish, or maybe you dig this so much that on your own you continue this story. But I want you to build some comic book panels telling a story directly in your sketchbook. Now for some of you, if you love comics, which I'm sure is probably a lot of you, this is going to be like, oh boy, wow, this is great. I love comics. And maybe you already draw your own comics, which is awesome. Some of you might be like, you know, love art, love drawing, love my sketchbook. I'm not really into comic books. Here is the thing about comic books though. We kind of have this idea with comics that it's always superheroes and they're always wearing their spandex pants and they always got the big gloves and the capes and everything and they soar through the air like this. And if that's what you want to draw for your comic, that's totally cool. But comic books are so much more than that, and there's all different kinds of comic books out there. There's sci-fi comics and horror comics and slice of life comics, all kinds of really cool, all kinds of stuff that's really neat. And it's such a great medium for storytelling, and there's just so much that you can do with it. So that's the sketchbook challenge for today. So what I'm gonna do with Cam today, we're gonna draw some sample pages. I want you to think about your layout. What is the story, this mini story that you're trying to tell, or maybe it's just a small part of a story, but the art of comic books, it's not just the art that's inside the panels, but the art truly is your panel layout, and for every page of your book, it's a brand new opportunity to tell the story. How do your panels flow across the page? That in and of itself is a work of art and is a masterpiece, and it's just really, really fun to do, to come up with different ways to arrange your panel layouts. So I thought we would just take some time to draw some cool layouts to springboard some ideas on you guys. Let's say you've got a page, something kind of like this. So a classic scenario that might be really cool for a panel might be, let's say you've got something like a Superman type of character. Let's say he hears something, he kind of looks in the sky, he sees trouble, maybe he runs into a phone booth, changes into Superman, and then dun, 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 flies, and maybe that's all it is. It's just a small piece of a larger story. In comic books, we have this thing called page turners, and the idea is that when you get to the bottom of each page, it should feel like you definitely want to turn the page and see what happens next. And then you get to the bottom of that page, oh man, now I really can't wait. What's going to happen next? So you kind of want to design your pages that way. So a really cool way of laying out your panels, maybe it's something kind of crazy like this. Maybe there's 4 equal panels, and maybe they're kind of long panels like this. And then we're gonna have a giant panel on the bottom. So the idea is, maybe the first panel, it's a close-up of Clark Kent's eye. He's got that curly cute hair that no one can tell both Superman and Clark Kent have this. Maybe he hears a noise, there's some kind of creature in the air. He's like, what? Then maybe we've got this over-the-shoulder shot here, maybe just the top of his head as he looks in the sky, and maybe there's buildings, and then maybe in the sky here, there's this creature, maybe it's got big wings, it's like a dragon. It actually makes that noise, which is like, oh no. So Superman maybe rushes into a phone booth. Maybe the phone booth door is here. Maybe it even says, do they even have phone booths anymore? Where does Superman change now that there aren't phone booths? We kind of see him from behind. He dashes in. He's still dressed like Clark Kent. And maybe in this shot here, it's a close-up, kind of pulling his shirt open, and we see Superman logo on the chest, kind of pulling that open. So the idea being, the most important thing, the most dramatic thing at the end of this is, wah, dun, 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 dun. And maybe we've just got this epic Superman here. Maybe his hands are even breaking the borders to make it even more exciting. can almost hear the sound of it. He's got one knee kind of coming down like so. I have all these cool action lines. So that's just an example, and you can have fun. You can overlap panels, you can have circles be panels. The more creative you get with it, the better. Now I'm looking over at what Cam is drawing, and oh my gosh, it's so cool. Cam, walk us through what you're doing here. That's awesome.
Well, my idea is that there's a kid that's really, really hungry, and he sees an apple up in a tree. And lucky him, the apple starts to fall. However, there's a bird that also sees the apple falling, and it starts to go after it. So the kid notices him, super surprised reaction as he notices the bird going for the apple as well. Oh no, who's gonna get it first? He's so hungry. And then you see his hands go up for it. And he's so close to getting it, it's right there. But so is the claw. Almost about to grab his meal for the first time in 3 days. Find out in next week's issue.
Oh, now that is a page turner. That is really cool, and I love this here. By stacking these kind of like this, it just kind of dunk, dunk, dunk. So whenever you're arranging your panels, the only real rule you need to consider is everything needs to be left to right and top to bottom. So here this makes absolute sense. Anyone reading this would know it kind of starts here, and then here, and then here, and then here, and then here, 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 here. You would never go from here, and then back up here again. That just wouldn't make sense. This also is crystal clear. Even if I have this overlapping, dipping into here, doesn't matter. Anyone reading this would know unmistakably, here, 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 here. Sometimes it can get a little bit more complicated than that, but that is the rule. And rules are meant to be broken and have a lot of fun with it. So that's what the challenge is for today. This is one of the challenges. I'm really excited to see what you guys do for this. I love comic books, but even more than comic books, I just love this style of storytelling with sequential art panels. Again, if you're into superheroes and stuff, that's great. You can draw existing superheroes or make up your own. Just telling a story in general is where it's at for this challenge. It doesn't have to be, you know, superheroes wearing spandex pants. It could be awesome slice of life comics. One of my favorite slice of life comics that became really big, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and that became like this really big movie. But before that, it was actually a comic book, this really, really great slice of life comic from Canada. Your hashtag is Sketchbook Challenge, also SBC Comic. All right, enjoy this challenge, guys. We will see you next time. Are you enjoying the Sketchbook Challenge? If so, give me a like. I want to know you're dedicated with today's mission, so let me know in the comments, challenge accepted. Also, if you have ideas for cool sketchbook challenges, I want to hear about them. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I've also got my Matt's Class series currently running, plus you can draw Star Wars videos, Hollywood is Dead, and sneak peeks at Aladdin 3477. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any sketchbook challenges. If you're drawing on an iPad, be sure to check out Interactive Sketchbook. The Sketchbook Challenge is growing each day, but depends on spreading the word, so please share this video on social media with your art friends so you can help challenge and motivate each other. Lastly, if posting your challenges on Instagram, be sure to follow me at Matt_Busch_Instagram. See you guys in a couple days for the next Sketchbook Challenge.